And today at the Music Factory we have a guest and they call him the Wizard of Synthesizers. Is that about right, Mr. Jarre?
I don't know. If you say so, it should be right. I'm trying to deal with these strange instruments, and actually my new record, Oxygène 7 to 13, is actually all about the first generation of synthesizers, this big analog synthesizers, where I like so much to put my hands on.
Did you find any?
Yes, I found some, and it's remind me about the way I was doing when I've done the first Oxygène, the first album. I used to work with these kind of first synthesizers ever made, and they may well become kind of Stradivarius for the future. And it was a lot of fun to work again with these kind of instruments.
And you just said yourself that there was a first Oxygène album. It was 1 to 6. Now we have 7 to 13.
That's right.
Why is that? Why?
Because I really wanted to find this excitement I've got when I first did the Oxygène, the first album, with this kind of very craftsmanship attitude, with these kind of instruments where I could put, as I said, my hands on and my fingers on in a very tactile, very organic, very sensual way. I mean, doing music is all about hands and feelings. Mm-hmm. And I find this first generation of instruments very music oriented. They've been designed with a lot of care by designers, musicians, and then with the digital age and the 80s, it changed a little bit. So I think the 90s is certainly the decade where we can have the right distance vis-a-vis all the technology of the 70s and the 80s, and trying to get best of both.
But it's technical music, and sometimes you copy the sounds of regular instruments.
Yeah, that's the main difference between the digital synthesizers and the first ones. The digital synthesizers, as you say, are based on the principle of taking samples, as we say, tiny pieces of existing sounds. But the first synthesizers, like the analog synthesizers, are really able to create fiction sounds that doesn't exist, that are not copies of existing sounds. Is what I like. It's like in abstract painting when you are working with oil and water and shadows, lights. I mean, I see really my work as the work of a painting, but doing soundscapes instead of landscapes.
But you are a painter as well, aren't you?
Yes, I used to paint quite a lot. I mean, more abstract painting than figurative painting. I like dealing with elements, and it's maybe because of this that this album is called Oxygène, because oxygen is an element in itself.
Yeah. And you said that you liked abstract painting, and a lot of people say that your music is abstract as well. But you talk about feelings. How do you think about the idea that people think of your music as abstract?
Because probably there is no lyrics. I mean, the main difference between music with lyrics and with music without lyrics is when you're writing a song, you are into a narrative process. I'm telling you a story if I'm writing a song. With music, you are just telling emotions, and you let the audience free to build their own lyrics, their own story, their own film in their mind. It's a different approach.
And when you're angry, for example, and you're all frustrated and you go to your room, you sit down and you can create a song like that, or doesn't it work like that?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, it's the music you're doing is always the feedback of your emotions, of your personal feelings. It's what I like to convey. You know, I think that there is no sense of progress in emotions. What Chinese musicians 5,000 years ago wanted to express, or what I want to express today, or what a musician in the cyberspace in two centuries from now will express, I mean, are the same feelings. There is no sense of progress in terms of emotions. I mean, the idea of solitude or relationship with love and hate and death and life.
True.
I mean, it's the same. It will be always the same.
That is true, definitely. And because you talk about the feelings, you can put that in your music, which I think is really fantastic without the lyrics. But you also use a lot of light when you do your shows. Does that have the same thing to you? Do you want it to feel?
Yes, I think I see really the scenography of my concerts like the visual track, like the lyrics of the music, the visual tracks of the music. So talking about textures together, textures and colors and layers, I like to try to get this sense of textures and layers in the light also. I mean, to try to find the visual correspondence with the textures of the music.
How long does it take before you get that? Because I do not understand how you can do it. I can see it and I enjoy it, but how do you start with something like that? You have your music and then the light has to come in. Does it take a long time before you have that rolling? Or?
I mean, I suppose it's like in this TV studio. I mean, it takes quite a long time to prepare this interview because you have to get the lights right, and the sound engineer is dealing somewhere behind the cameraman, and it's an all teamwork. So I have a crew with me, and it's a artistic process, and we have to deal with all technical problems, but it's fun.
Yeah, but it seems very complicated.
No, it's not. It's not as complicated as that. I like the craftsmanship attitude. I mean, to get also. I mean, get involved with all lighting effects from the opera house to the state of the art of technology with laser. I mean, I think the 90s are really a kind of bric-a-brac of technology where past and future are mixed together. So I like that.
You can live in this age then, can't you, with all the...
I think so, yeah. I think that, I mean, to see the future like this is quite healthy, much healthier than the kind of Big Brother approach that some people in the 60s had.
Well, I think that we can see the future through you.
I
have a feeling that's going to work. But I also heard that you're coming to Holland to perform on the 30th of May. You're going to be in Ahoy,
right.
Rotterdam. That's inside.
Yes, it's indoor. It's a total different project than what I've done outdoor. So don't expect to see me doing what I've done outdoor in a small box. It's a different concept. I'm working on a very unusual and specific scenography for it, but I really wanted to focus on the music and to be able to play some tracks that I'd never been able to play outdoor because of their nature. Mm-hmm. So it's based really on, it's called Oxygène Tour. It's based really on the two albums, the two Oxygène, plus some previous tracks, previous hits, also from other records.
I think it's going to be a very big spectacle. So if you want to go see it, the 30th of May, Mr. Jean-Michel Jarre is in Rotterdam, Ahoy. And I want to give the people that are watching a little feeling of what your music is all about, especially your new music, of course. You explain it very well, but you are a musician. So this is a little bit of taste of Jean-Michel Jarre. We're going to give 5 away. That's okay with you?
It's absolutely okay with me. Ask the record company, but for me, it's absolutely okay.
They're sitting there and they're going like this.
Yes, they're going like this.
So I
think it's maybe okay. Should be okay.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question if you promise me that you will sign them.
And I don't have to answer to the question because I could maybe win one of these records, maybe.
I think you have enough. I think we're going to give him away.
Okay.
So I'm just going to ask the question. He is going to sign them, so beware. And we've talked about the album, so it's a bit of a tricky question, but how many tracks are there on the album of Jean-Michel Jarre, his latest album? And I'm not saying the title for a reason. So how many tracks are there on the album? It's almost like the wizard came up with it. It's a little bit tricky, like his music. Okay, I really hope people go to see your show. I wish you all the luck with the album and the singles.
Thank you.
And the next time, come back with a lot of light.
Okay.
Goodbye.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
This is the Music Factory.